So I had a film breakdown prepared today, but I'm actually going to go a different direction. This is a rant because we have to talk about the state of this Indiana Fever team, and I'm here to bring the reality to all you Fever fans. This team is not a championship team. They're not a championship team. They're nowhere near close to a championship team because every team that is a championship team can play defense. This Indiana Fever team has no defense, and that's like the farthest of their problems. Their offense looked really bad today, and Caitlin Clark obviously didn't shoot the basketball well, but I'm not going to blame this loss on Caitlin Clark, even though obviously they would have won if she would have shot the ball well. My whole thing is you were up when Caitlin Clark wasn't shooting the ball well. You had a double-digit lead in that first half while Caitlin Clark was clanking every single three. She was 2 for 9 from the field, and you were still confidently beating this Aces team. The reason you lost was not because Caitlin Clark didn't score the basketball. The reason you lost is because you stopped doing what was working, what works for the Indiana Fever.
In a story that's rapidly heating up across the WNBA landscape, General Manager Linn Dunn of the Indiana Fever has made comments that many see as a direct critique of the coaching staff's handling of rookie sensation Caitlin Clark. What began as a routine media moment quickly escalated into a major talking point across sports media, online fan communities, and even within professional basketball circles. Caitlin Clark, the most high-profile rookie the league has seen in over a decade, entered the WNBA with unmatched hype following her record-shattering college career at Iowa. The Indiana Fever, landing her with the No. 1 overall pick, were immediately thrown into the national spotlight. Ticket sales surged, national broadcasts saw spikes in ratings, and the WNBA suddenly found itself at the center of a media whirlwind. Yet, despite the enormous buzz, fans quickly noticed something strange. Clark wasn't being used as the focal point of the offense. She wasn't initiating plays, she wasn't controlling the tempo, and in many stretches, she appeared almost sidelined, reduced to a background role. This wasn't just a stylistic choice. It raised serious questions about the Fever's game plan and the vision the coaching staff had for Clark's role on the team. The absence of clear offensive autonomy sparked growing criticism online, with fans and analysts alike wondering, why draft Caitlin Clark if you're not going to let her play like Caitlin Clark? Then came the spark that turned smoke into fire. In a recent interview, GM Linn Dunn addressed Clark's role on the team and she didn't hold back. While her words were technically measured, the implication was anything but. Dunn openly stated that she believed Caitlin Clark should have the ball in her hands, should be running the offense, and that the team's success hinged on letting her control the pace. Coming from the GM, that kind of language isn't just philosophical or directional. It was widely interpreted as a shot at the Fever's coaching staff, particularly head coach Christy Sides, who up until this point had offered minimal public insight into the team's strategy for integrating Clark. The media response was immediate and intense. News outlets pounced on the potential rift between front office and bench, with many commentators saying this wasn't just about X's and O's, it was about power. For a GM to publicly signal dissatisfaction with a coach's decisions, especially mid-season, is almost unheard of in the WNBA. It broke the unspoken rule of internal unity and signaled something deeper, a possible fracture in the Fever's internal leadership, and an implicit message that the status quo wasn't working. As the controversy gained momentum, an unexpected twist added confusion to the mix. Fans online began dragging the name Stephanie White into the debate, mistakenly identifying her as the Fever's head coach. In reality, Stephanie White left the Fever years ago, and is currently the head coach of the Connecticut Sun, but that didn't stop her name from trending on Twitter and sparking misdirected outrage. This mix-up might seem trivial, but it revealed something larger about the moment: how emotionally charged and widespread the debate had become. People were so fired up about Clark's usage that even factual accuracy got lost in the frenzy. Meanwhile, Christy Sides, the actual head coach, remained notably silent. No public comments, no clarification, just a growing sense that something wasn't quite right inside the organization. The coaching staff appeared to be on an island while the GM spoke to the media, and the public narrative shifted rapidly against them. In professional sports, perception often becomes reality, and the perception here was crystal clear. The front office had one vision for Clark, and the coaching staff was executing another. Rumors began to swirl behind the scenes. Was there friction between Clark and her veteran teammates? Was the coaching staff resistant to making her the team's primary ball handler? Reports began surfacing suggesting that not everyone in the locker room was on board with the Caitlin Clark show. Some speculated that more experienced players felt overshadowed or worried about being phased out of the offense. Others whispered about philosophical differences, whether Clark should be developed slowly and protected from burnout, or unleashed fully as the face of the franchise from day one. Linn Dunn's comments added fuel to this fire. Her words seemed less about offensive schemes and more about asserting a direction for the team, one that placed Clark at the center. It wasn't just basketball strategy, it was politics. And it raised an even bigger question: was this team unified behind its future, or quietly divided by it? Clark's on-court performance added more complexity to the conversation. Statistically, her best games occurred when she had full control of the offense, dictating pace, calling plays, and being the engine of the team's scoring. In games where she played passively or off-ball, her efficiency dropped significantly. Fans and analysts pored over possession data, shot charts, and assist ratios. One pattern became undeniable: when Clark was empowered to run the offense, the Fever played better. When she wasn't, the team stagnated. The stats painted a picture that validated the concerns raised by Dunn and the frustrations expressed by fans. It wasn't about marketing or popularity, it was about winning. And the numbers suggested that Clark's talents were being underutilized by a coaching strategy that hadn't fully adapted to what she could bring to the table. This was no longer just a theory, it was evidence. Now, the situation has evolved beyond play calling into something bigger: a looming power struggle. Linn Dunn's public stance raised eyebrows, not only for its content but for what it might foreshadow. In professional sports, when a GM goes public with dissatisfaction, it often precedes a change, either in strategy or in personnel. Is Dunn preparing to make a move? Could the Fever see a coaching change mid-season? While no official reports confirm this, the buzz around the league suggests that tensions are rising. And if the team continues to struggle, or if Clark's development appears to stall, the pressure on the coaching staff will only intensify. This is no longer about letting a rookie grow at her own pace. It's about aligning the entire organization around its most valuable asset, and if that alignment isn't happening, changes might be inevitable. At the same time, national media outlets have jumped into the fray. ESPN, Bleacher Report, and other major platforms are dissecting every quote, every lineup decision, every post-game interview. Sports talk shows are now filled with segments debating whether the Fever are wasting Clark's talent or protecting her. Former players have weighed in. Some support a slow-build approach, while others argue the league needs Clark as its main draw right now. And fans, they're split. Some see Dunn as the hero, pushing for Clark's liberation. Others accuse her of undermining the coaching staff and creating division. The narrative is no longer under the team's control. It's out in the open, being shaped by headlines, hot takes, and hashtags. More than anything, what this moment reveals is how much is riding on Caitlin Clark, not just for the Fever, but for the WNBA as a whole. She isn't just a top draft pick, she's a symbol of where the league could go: mainstream attention, big sponsorships, rising stars, global coverage. And that weight is both a blessing and a burden. Every decision made around her, whether tactical or organizational, becomes amplified, and when those decisions appear flawed or unclear, the backlash is swift and unforgiving. Linn Dunn's comments may have been the spark, but the fire was already there, waiting for oxygen. In conclusion, this is no longer just about a rookie's playing time. It's about identity, direction, and control within a franchise caught between honoring tradition and embracing transformation. It's about a GM who seems ready to take bold steps to ensure her vision is realized. And it's about a coaching staff now caught under a microscope, facing public pressure in a way few WNBA teams have. Caitlin Clark's development, Linn Dunn's resolve, and Christy Side's silence are now the three central threads of a story that's far from over. As the season progresses, this internal battle could become the most defining subplot in the WNBA, not just for what it says about the Fever, but for what it signals about the future of the entire league.